record, and she would be ready to place that on the record.
All right, Ms. Dahl.
Your Honor, the people are offering that if defendant were to go to domestic violence, we would recommend 30 days jail and no probation.
You'd recommend that, or that's a Killebrew?
Well, I don't know if it'd be a Killebrew. We did speak at the bench, and I believe the court agreed that that would be an appropriate sentence. So if we could call it a Killebrew, if the court would like, but I believe it was agreed that our proposed resolution would be accepted by the court.
I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. So if it's Mr.
When I spoke to Miss D.M, I did propose it as a Killebrew agreement. So I would respectfully request it be as a Killebrew, or if we want to even do it as a Cobb's, I'd be okay with that too.
Ms. Dahl.
I would agree that we can have this be a Killebrew agreement.
All right. All right, Ms. Dean, have you heard what the attorneys have said the resolution of this case is?
I'm
Ms.
sorry,
Dean?
what?
Have you heard what the attorneys have said the resolution is?
Yes,
And is that how you wish to resolve it?
yes,
Will you please raise your right hand?
yes,
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
yes,
All right, you may put your hand down. And so it's my understanding that you'll be pleading guilty to count number 1 of domestic violence. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail and or a fine of $500. Along with that, there's what we call a Killebrew agreement, and Killebrew just references an appellate case. But what that says is that the parties agree that there would be a 30-day jail sentence in this case. Now, that's an agreement that you have with the prosecutor, not an agreement you have with me. So if I decide that I'm not going to follow that agreement, you would be able to withdraw your plea. Do you understand that?
yes.
Back on November 27th, were you on probation or parole?
27.
Yeah, November 27th of 25.
Yes, I was on probation.
And is that the Osceola County case?
Yes,
And have you been violated on that case?
yes,
All right. Do you remember reading and signing the advice of rights form and talk about your rights to an attorney and your rights to a trial?
yes,
Did you understand those rights?
yes,
Most importantly, do you understand that you have a right to a jury trial and that by entering a guilty plea today, you'll be giving up that right and you won't have a trial of any kind?
yes.
Other than the plea agreement, has anybody promised you anything in order to get you to plea?
No,
Has anybody threatened you in any way?
no,
And is it your own free choice to plea?
yes.
Are counsel aware of any other promises, threats, or inducements not made part of the record?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Ms. D.M, to the allegation that on or about November 27th, 2025, in the city of Cadillac of Wexford County, how do you plead to domestic violence?
Guilty.
In order to accept that plea, I must have you tell me what it is that makes you guilty. So back on November 27th, were you in the city of Cadillac?
Yes,
And did you have some sort of altercation with Gavin Fryhover?
yes.
And who was Gavin to you?
He was my boyfriend.
All right, so why don't you tell me what happened?
We got into a fight and he was telling me stuff, and I threw pasta sauce at him.
You threw what at him?
Pasta sauce.
Pasta sauce. Was that in a pot, in a jar? Did you just throw it like a food fight? Why don't you tell me a little bit more about that?
Just got done cooking it, and it was sitting on the stove in a pan, and I just picked it up and I threw it at him.
So I'm not getting a good record. So can you maybe move closer to the microphone and slow down your speech a little bit?
Yeah.
And
We were cooking pasta sauce, and it was in the pan on the stove, and I picked it up and I threw it at him.
all right. And did you hit him with the pan of pasta sauce?
Not the pan, just the sauce.
Just the sauce.
Yes.
Was the sauce hot?
Yes.
All right. And did he ask you to throw the sauce at him?
No, he did not.
All right. And counsel, do you believe the defendant provided a factual basis in which to accept the plea and the court rule has been complied with?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Chairman, we ask the court accept the plea.
Court agrees. I find the plea is knowing, voluntary, and accurate. Ms. D.M, I find you guilty of domestic violence. Are we able to sentence today then, Ms. Stoll?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any victim input?
No, Your Honor.
Allocution, Ms. Fervento?
Thank you, Your Honor. We would respectfully request that the court accept the Killebrew agreement. While it certainly is not, the behavior is not acceptable and she has struggled with probation in the past. That's why we're requesting straight jail sentence here. It sounds like this is overall a toxic relationship and the goal is to move away from it and to move on to a healthier relationship.
Ms. Stoll?
Your Honor, I also asked that Killebrew be followed. I believe 30 days is appropriate for this type of behavior. Additionally, based on the PSI report, it looks like she's not a good candidate for probation. Therefore, the 4A deferral would not work.
Ms. DM, you have the right to address the court prior to sentencing. Is there anything you'd like me to know?
No.
You're currently sitting a sentence in Osceola County, is that correct?
Yes.
And when is your anticipated out date?
March 20th.
Okay. All right. And is that for the disorderly jostling probation violation?
Yes.
How much time were you sentenced to?
93 days.
93? All right. All right. The court, as Ms. Dull referenced, we've received a probation pre-sentence investigation report. The report indicates that the defendant's criminal history, she had an attempted aggravated assault back in 22 with violations of probation, and then in 25, the disorderly jostling that she failed to report probation, resulting in an unsuccessful discharge to the violations. Additionally, as was pointed out, the probation department does not feel as though she would be a good candidate for supervision, and they actually recommended 60 days jail. Given that the defendant is currently under sentence in Osceola County until March 20th, the court will follow the Killebrew agreement and sentence to 30 days jail with 0 days credit. Ms. DM, just so you're aware, you don't receive credit for time that you're sitting a sentence. So while you may have been in Osceola for some time, you don't get credit on this case for that. Just so you're aware of that. There is, and that this sentence will run concurrent with the Osceola case. So that means now, as you sit your time in Osceola, you'll be sitting your time on this case as well. There is a $75 Crime Victims' Rights Fund fee, $50 state minimum fee, $150 fine. I'll waive the court costs. Any objection to waiving attorney fees, Mr. Avento?
No objections, we ask they be waived.
Attorney fees are waived as well. Ms. DM, any balance that remains unpaid for more than 56 days will have a 20% penalty added to that. I'm going to waive that penalty while you're in jail. So that 56 days will start ticking once you're released from jail. Do you have any questions for me about your sentence today?
No, I do not.
All right. Once you're released from your sentence, you're going to want to contact the court and make a payment or get set up on a payment plan. All right.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Osceola.